Germany legalizes cannabis, but makes it hard to buy.
Of course it does.
Does that sound familiar to us? Does that sound...
That's hard.
The German parliament has backed a new law to allow the recreational use of cannabis. Under the law, over 18s in Germany would be allowed to possess substantial amounts of cannabis, but strict rules will make it difficult to buy the drug. Smoking cannabis in many public spaces will become illegal April 1st. Possession of up to 25 grams, equivalent to a dozen of strong joints, is allowed in public spaces. In private homes, the legal limit will be 50 grams. Hey, they're taking that from Australia. Already, police in some parts of Germany, such as Berlin, often turn a blind eye to smoking in public, although possession of the drug for recreational use is illegal and can be prosecuted. Use of the drug amongst young people has been soaring for years, despite the existing laws, says Health Minister Karl Laufenbauch, who is instigating the reforms. Initiating. He wants to undermine the black market, protect smokers from contaminated cannabis, and cut revenue streams for organized crime gangs. But legal cannabis cafes will not suddenly spring up all over the country. A ferocious debate about decriminalizing cannabis has been raging for years in Germany, with doctors' groups expressing concern for young people and conservatives, saying that liberalization will fuel drug use. After a stormy session on Friday in the Bundestag, Germany's parliament, the vote was eventually passed 407 to 226. Simon Bochart of the oppositional conservative CDU told MPs that the government has gone already with its completely unnecessary, confused law, regardless of warnings from doctors, police, and psychotherapists. But Mr. Lautenbach said the current situation was no longer tenable. The number of consumers aged between 18 and 25 has doubled in the past 10 years. After the vote, he said the law would dry out the black market and fix a failed drug policy. And so often in Germany, the law approved by the MPs is complicated. Smoking cannabis in some areas, such as near schools and sports grounds, will still be illegal. Crucially, the market will be strictly regulated, so buying the drug will not be easy. Oh, how smart you are. Original plans to allow licensed shops and pharmacies to sell cannabis have been scraped over EU concerns that this could lead to a surge in drug exports. Instead, non-commercial member clubs, dubbed cannabis social clubs, will grow and distribute a limited amount of drugs. But listen to this. Each club will be allowed to have an upper limit of only 500 members. Consuming cannabis on-site will not be allowed, and membership will only be available to German residents. Growing your own cannabis will also be permitted, yay, with up to 3 marijuana plants allowed per household. This means that Germany could be in the paradoxical position of allowing possession of rather large amounts of the drug while at the same time making it difficult to purchase. Regular smokers would benefit, but occasional users would struggle to buy it legally and tourists would be excluded. Critics say this will simply fuel the black market. Over the next few years, the government wants to assess the impact of the new law and eventually introduce the licensed sale of cannabis. But given how torturous the debate has been so far, nothing is certain. Meanwhile, oppositional conservatives say that if they get into the government next year, they will scrap the law entirely. Germany is unlikely to become Europe's newest Amsterdam anytime soon. This is Yarrow Kubrin, High at 9 News. I would like to hear what my other guests have to say, as well as those of you in the chat.
The reality, though, they're hampering down everywhere that you can possibly obtain this stuff. But thank God no one's going to want to buy any of it anyway because it's all Canadian boof. So, I guess they know that they know what they're selling. They're not going to have a lot of people looking for it, but people. Will
hold on. You're telling me that Germany, because Germany makes things amazing.
Germany is importing their weed from Canada. Germany is importing their weed from Canada.
All of it?
It's all imported.
Yeah, Colombia.
It's terrible.
Colombia too.
Yeah. Look at Yarrow. You're about to cry, bro. He's about to cry.
Australia, the same here. This is insane.
Yeah.
Germany just ripped off everything from Australia and made it 10 times worse. I can see exactly what's happening here. This is insane.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I think there's a missed opportunity for Germany to create its own domestic production of cannabis is because Germany makes everything amazing. They are the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. And I can't help but think to myself, the missed opportunities for ag tech innovation if Germans were allowed to grow their own cannabis and not have to to import it from other countries. I mean, if like really the ag tech opportunities over there would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. It could be amazing, but it won't be amazing.
They are.
They think positively, Jay.
I feel bad for the populace, because it's interesting how we covered these other two stories, one in Australia and then also Mandy's, and we were talking about sort of some of these common recurring issues that get sort of populated into policy in newer markets, and this unfortunately appears to be more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right on par.
That's right. It definitely sounds like more of the same. And even Irish sees it all the way in Australia, all the way down under. He you know.
I'm actually flabbergasted because, like just a thing. We have a lot of artists coming from overseas, as you can imagine, touring. So last year I was taken on tour with Snoop Dogg for this exact reason, because one, contaminated weed. We have a thing called PGR, plant growth regulating.
Yeah, we got those here too.
Yeah, which is causing just these big brown buds. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nasty.
And yeah, obviously you guys, I've seen you've got fentanyl sprayed weed and shit.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's fake news. You can't spray fentanyl weed. That's not real. That's just propaganda pieces. That's not.
And then
not
spraying
true.
terps. Is that?
Yeah, they do that. They do the spray terps. Yes, they do that. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for that reason, that's why all the artists coming over, Snoop just smoked like the greatest of medical weed while he was here, because he was petrified of going underground and getting this PGR or terp spray weed. He had no idea that in that German article, what annoyed me the most was when you said, it's excluded for tourists. So that's great. We'll go fuck ourselves. No problem. We go over there. We go looking for weed. We get arrested looking for it while all you Germans are sitting in a cafe smoking it. Great. Peace. No tourism for you.
Exactly.
Simple.
And to be fair to Australia, I mean, while you may be importing artists, you guys did give us Men at Work. They were pretty good.
They didn't smoke weed though.
Yes,
That's why that's why they're still at work. No.
Oh, that's why they're still. No, they never went on break. They were great employees.
No,
Huh?
I'm referring back to Fang and Wang before. They're just sitting on the couch bludgeon. You know.
What about Rufus? You gave us Rufus. They were pretty smooth too.
Didn't we get? Where's AC/DC from? Aren't they Australian or not?
Oh,
yes. Yes,
AC/DC
they are.
is from
They're Australian,
Australia?
but they're all like they're convicts. They're all from all over the place, Scotland, England.
I thought all Australians were convicts. I thought that was the whole point of Australia.
We still are convicts.
Yeah,
only got freed as at the end of COVID.
I believe
And
it.
if you have a bong, you're a convict.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, they want to see.
There'll be a social equity program though, so don't worry.
Can't we all just get a bong?
That's just pouring salt on the wound right there, Mandy. That's just pouring salt.
I'd love to get a bong, but they're illegal here too.
Oh man, they are illegal.